Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be playing with stencils to create a really quick page in our art journal. So I'm working in my large Dina Wakley journal, and for a change I'm actually gessoing. I don't know why, I took a fancy. I think it's because I had pencil marks on this page and a little bit of paint on, so I wanted to make everything tied together. You can still kind of see the pencil marks through it, but it didn't really bother me. I did kind of want a white space to work on as opposed to that sort of manila e-colour under the Dilutions journal. So you can see I apply my gesso really thin. I can still see those marks under there, but I've got a little bit of whiteness on the page. So I've been on a real kick recently using analogous colours, and particularly this range of colours of lime, marine, a turquoisey colour and a darker green. I don't know why I've been in that frame of mind recently. Obviously, maybe I want to calm myself down. Probably that's the reason why. But they're just lovely calming colours, and particularly for this layout it worked really nicely. So what I did want to kind of achieve with this though was a really sort of drippy background. Now if you've got the new gloss sprays, you could certainly do this technique with the gloss sprays. I wasn't in the mood to get gloss sprays everywhere though. I'm still getting my head, I love them dearly, but I'm still getting my head around getting them to sort of drip around the page and so on without covering absolutely everything in my studio with sprays. So for today I was using the acrylic paints just watered down. So this design was actually inspired by one of my students in a class that I taught last year. She did this amazing page using the moon face stencils to create figures, and I've had those stencils for so long and not really used them, and I saw the potential in them after seeing that class. So it's like, yep, I have to sort of have a go at that and make my own little people. So I'm using my favorite stencil, which is this botanical one, and I'm desperately trying to find another stencil of this because I love this so much that if mine's ever breaks or disappears, I'm going to be devastated if I don't have another one. Which is terrible, but it's the one stencil I use so often, and yeah, it goes in everything. It's such a versatile thing, and I'm not a plant person. I can kill plants by looking at them, so I don't get it, but I just love the effect of it. So I'm just stenciling using the same colours I've used in the background. So I've got that marine, I've got evergreen, which is the darker green, a little bit of lime. I'm using leafy stencils to kind of create this sort of drippy, foresty type effect in the background. And I'm using a range of masks and stencils. I haven't used the masks on here, but you kind of get the same effect of a mask by putting down the stencil and rubbing away the excess paint, which is what I did in the very first instance. I'm also using up all my paint, so you can see I've got some darker areas, and then with the same sponge I'm going down, sort of lower down, and creating those sort of ghostly effects. Now I'm just going in and placing my faces. So they've got these just beautiful little moon faces that are really cute, and again, they're not ones I would use regularly, but I just really like the effect of them. I did put this little person on the edge here, but you don't end up really seeing them in the final piece. I do like having odd numbers of figures, which is why I wanted to put the 5 in, but that one in the corner, it sort of ends up being hidden a little bit. So just to reduce a little bit of chaos in the background, I'm also going in with some white to add a little bit of white space, and to, I suppose, add some of those leaves back into the foreground so you can actually see a little bit of what's going on. Plus, I really love these stencils, so, you know, anytime I can use them a little bit more on my page, I will. For a change, I'm actually using some of the other images on this stencil. It's not just the one on the left-hand side all the time. So once I've finished using up all the paint on my sponge, It's the only reason why I keep putting that on there is because I've got paint on my sponge, so I keep spreading it out. I'm just going in and drawing some really simple body shapes. So they're very, very abstract, very, very simple, but this page ended up being very, very simple, so it kind of works. I'm not into, you know, putting in lots and lots of detail to it. I just want something to attach the bodies to. The pencil I use to draw the lines is a Stabilo oil pencil, but instead of using black like I usually do, I use the blue, and I've also mixed a little bit of a green pencil in as well. So if you had any water-soluble pencil, even if you had like scribble sticks or something, you could use those to draw out the lines and then just water activate them. And you can see I've also tipped it up because I wanted to get those lines sort of running down the page, just to add that sort of drippiness that I had in the background to the figures. So then I'm just cleaning up my area, making sure it sort of all goes in, and you can see with the white stencils in the background, I've also sort of half covered over that face. So you can't really see it now, it's sort of peeking out from behind, but it's kind of hidden. So finally what I decided to do was look for a quote for this page. And I have some sticker books that have got quotes in them. This one's from Art by Marlene. And it says, "Live simply, bloom wildly," which kind of fitted in, but it was just too small and it just got lost on the page, so it was really bugging me. So I decided to take it off and come up with another plan. Then I decided I was going to put it on my little figures, but again, there was just something about the font and the style of writing, I don't know, it just bugged me, so I ended up taking it off there too. The other writing that I've added onto the page is one of the Dina Wakley washi tapes, which, oh, I've got it sitting right next to me, which is easy because I always forget the quote, but I love it. "I make my voice strong and my spirit alive." So I actually ended up putting that on all the little figures. I also ended up putting little hearts on their figures because that's just something I do. I cannot explain to you why I do it, but if I've got a figure on a page, I tend to do two things. I put the whites of the eyes in and I put a heart on them. I suppose it's just to humanize them a little bit subconsciously. Yeah, it's funny the things you do and you don't really think about why you do them. So once I was doing that, I'm now trying to look up a quote to write on my page because I knew I wanted something written on here, but I wasn't sure what. So Pinterest to the rescue, and I looked up nature quotes, I think. And I ended up having this quote, "The earth has music for those who listen," which I thought was beautiful on this page, and it sort of really tied it together. And the funny thing is, and it's very serendipitous because I didn't even realize what was on the next page, but the very next page in my journal has a double spread which says, "And into the forest I will go to lose my mind and find my soul." So those two pages just work beautifully together. Completely different color schemes. You know, this is in the greens and blues, and the next page is purples and pinks, but the theme of the quotes really sort of fitted together, which is very funny. When I turned over the page, like, oh wow, that just worked. So you can see here me putting in the whites of the eyes, again just to make sort of them draw attention, and you can see by just putting the catch-alls in the eyes, I didn't even put the whites in really, it just brings those figures to life. So here's a close-up of the final page. Now you could do this page in any color scheme you wanted to, but choose colors that are close to each other on the color wheel because they're going to blend together really nicely. So thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.